Hello, I'm back with the Day 6 reveals for Leagues 5. Today's reveal is the Teleport Relics, and one of them makes a return from last season. Here is a quick video on the reveal. So, Fairy's Flight is making a return. It's very interesting, as well as Bank Heist and Hold. The Clue Compass. Bank Heist and the Clue Compass are the new teleport relics, and I'll discuss them a little bit more in detail in a moment. So, if you're familiar with Leagues 4, you'll know what Fairy Flight is. It was a very powerful teleport option last Leagues that'll let you teleport to any fairy ring, spirit tree, or tool leprechaun. It was, to me, the better option by far because the other teleport option just let you choose already existing teleports. And one of the things that makes League so fun is some of the new wonky things that the game allows for, and such as teleports that just don't exist in the main game, like teleporting to a leprechaun. Um, so here's a couple things about Fairy's Flight. Tool, if you unlock this relic, you get the auto completion of Tree Gnome Village, which is probably kind of a bad thing, just because I'm pretty sure there's a decent amount of experience locked behind that quest if you're taking Kandarin, but nobody is, so I guess it's probably fine. Um, it also ignores wilderness teleport restrictions, which means you should be able to teleport at like 50 wilderness, which is also very convenient. And you can't use it to teleport to places like Kandarin if you don't have Kandarin, and you wouldn't want to go there anyways. I think I'm beating a dead horse when I talk about Kandarin, but that's okay. Um, The second relic option is Bank Heist, which is a brand new relic that allows you to teleport to any deposit box, bank, or bank chest. Again, it teleports you anywhere in the wilderness, similar to the previous relic, so there is no restriction on where you can teleport. If you take the wild, you don't have to worry about not being able to teleport to certain places if you're, say, killing Scorpia or something. Also, it doesn't let you teleport to places you haven't unlocked, obviously. Lastly, lastly, we have the Clue Compass, which also sounds like, after reading it, might be the best teleport option. Honestly, all three of these options are great. This one allows you to teleport to any stash unit and follow the bard if you've unlocked those areas, which will just make doing clues significantly faster. And I know last league and maybe previous leagues before then, clues were a large point getter. You could get a ton of clues or a ton of points from clues, which allowed you to progress through and get tiers even faster. So the ability to just be able to essentially instantly complete clues as soon as you get them, because most clues have a stash unit for them, or at least a large majority of them do. And if they don't, you could probably teleport close by to one with this teleport. It also has actually, okay, reading the second part of this now, it has the ability to teleport you to the current clue step if you have one. So it doesn't even matter if you if the clue you're doing doesn't have a stash unit. You can just directly teleport to the clue step. So that to me is pretty broken. It also lets you do wilderness teleports from anywhere, and it can't teleport you to areas you don't have unlocked. But looking at all three of these, I think the clue one may be very powerful because not only does it allow you to just instantly complete all the clues you get, which is most likely going to be a really good way to earn points in leagues again this season, with all of the different ways you can earn points through clues, but it also allows you to maybe save a clue that you don't want to do if it's got like a decent teleport spot. Things that I'm thinking of right now would be like the lighthouse, for instance. If you had a clue, if you wanted to kill some Dagonoths at the lighthouse, for instance, you would just save this clue, and you'd have an instant teleport to Dagonoths. That's what comes to my mind off the top of my head. There's other clues, like if you wanted to do Zamorak God Wars, and then you got the clue to do to kill Zamorak, or if you got the clue to do the emote outside of Zamorak, for instance, you would be able to save this clue and just teleport directly to Zamorak for fighting. I know there's also last recall and whatnot, but let's say you were in the middle of a Zamorak task, or you wanted to go to Zamorak and um you didn't want to go there immediately after. um what am I trying to say here? Let's say you wanted to go to Zamorak, you would just be able to go with this clue in your hand. You wouldn't have to walk there for the first time. And of course, you could last recall afterwards, assuming that's in the game again, which would be crazy if it wasn't. But to initially do the starting up trip, you can get there instantly if you have this clue. And I suppose even if you don't have the clue, it does have a stash unit, so you don't even need the Zammy clue to go directly to God Wars. You can use the stash unit teleport to go directly to God Wars. Those are some initial thoughts that come to my mind when seeing this particular relic. I think it sounds the best to me because it has the most range, but at the same time, really just being able to teleport directly to any bank would be good. And then last recall back to what you're doing. The Fairy's Flight Ring is still very powerful because it's got a ton of uh, farming patches you can do your farming with. With the Tool Leprechaun, it's also got your fairy rings, and there's a ton of fairy ring spots that are kind of convenient to go to. I think it loses a little bit of power with something like this, though, because a lot of the reason to use a fairy ring would be to do something like clues, and with this, you can just directly do your clues. So immediate thoughts to me are that the clue compass is the most overpowered one, but we'll see if that holds up once we see all the teleports, because there are a ton of banks and a ton of deposit boxes, some even kind of out in the middle of nowhere you wouldn't think of immediately, but it's really hard to say which one to take right now without knowing or listing every single teleport that you would have access to, and there are a lot. So I don't think you can choose wrong with any of these, but it's very exciting teleport options. So what do you guys think? Which relic are you going to take? For me, it's looking a lot like the Clue relic, just seems to have the most power behind it. But I actually like the idea of being able to bank immediately too, or going directly to a bank, especially with the power of last recall and bouncing back and forth between the bank and wherever you're at so fast. Yeah, let me know in the comments below what relic you're taking.